Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, presented by Virtual Racing School. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Marco Barbonera, and I hope it's not the end of the start. And you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
It is not the end, Austin, but it is,
just the beginning.
Just the beginning. But it's like philosophically the end of the traditional F3 weekend here on Apex Racing TV. We had the two races of the that's great, of the Apex Racing Academy F3 series yesterday here at Montreal. And today it's the big one. It's the long race. It's the feature race, so to speak, of iGPFun. Many of the drivers we saw yesterday are back with us today for the longest race of the three. And on the weekend where the real F3 championship has started, it's great that we are here in one of the most beautiful tracks that unfortunately this season won't be part of the calendar in real life of the World Championship because of what.
Well, it was
supposed,
and then it wasn't.
And then it was, yeah, But we can have our own little triple header of F3 action, and again, what better place to do it than here in Montreal for iGPFun? And as per usual, we come into the final moments of qualifying, and it's Marcus Lucio, a driver we see every once in a while here in iGPFun, at top of the table in front of Marteau, who won race 1 yesterday, Samuel Herber, then Francesco Meola, and Gavin Petty, your top 3. Austin, we have a massive field of 49 cars tonight.
Yeah, a big field of 49 cars. I know 30 started in real life at Barcelona, but 40 here in the sim because we crank it up to 11 here in Montreal, and it's going to be a big race here today. And we've been told that this might be a race of attrition due to the high speeds, high drafts, and the high competitiveness that this track brings to these cars, but also a high tire wear race as well nearing the end of this race. So race of attrition as some might say, and a race of keeping the car clean.
By the way, Austin, the winner today in race 3 of the F3 championship was Dennis Auger, who, of course, if you remember, 1 year ago was one of the protagonists of that F3 series that we broadcasted in was like March and April with many real life drivers that also do F3 right now, like Callan Williams, for example, and many others. So I was a bit
glad to see a familiar face. I know you and I were a bit rooting for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit upset last season because he didn't have a good season in F3 last year.
No.
But this season he went to Prema, and of course they are the team to beat.
It's Prema. Once you mention the name, everyone knows. Yes, it's Prema. They're gonna win.
Don't know if he still has the Red Bull backing that he had last season, because I didn't see any Red Bull indication on his car. But certainly happy to see him. He was very quick in the sim. He was. I knew he had potential, and maybe one night he's going to join us in iGPFun. We've had real life drivers in the past as well. We see Antonio Telles, who is driving for Drivex, which is a nice segue there, if I may say so. A real life team in Euroformula Open, the Pan-European F3 Championship, which uses the Lara F3 112, which is the model before this, if I'm not mistaken. Which is starting very soon, and most of the drivers, Austin, are home safe and sound, waiting for the absolute chaos of this race that is going to be one that we don't want to miss, I think, because Montreal always provides some great racing.
Yeah, and I want to clarify, Dennis Auger is a Red Bull Junior team driver. Don't know how you missed it.
I don't know, but his Prema car is fully Prema livery, and usually the rule of thumb here in Italy is that when you read Prema, you read Ferrari.
Yeah, this is true. This is also true.
So, Adam Talsma, speaking of hometown boys, Canadians, Adam Talsma is not the only one. We of course have Lucas Maruca and Sonny Rosario in the field today, that come from the beautiful country of Canada. He is on the backstretch, is Adam Talsma. I don't know if he will be able to complete his lap, Austin.
It's very late, 2 minutes into qualifying after it's ended, and yeah, it is not going to be a lap for Adam Talsma. I believe he's already done a lap, and he was just getting a few more in there because the curbs here could get absolutely slick. But it's Marcus Lucio taking pole position ahead of QT Marto. Samuel Hermer in third, followed by Francisco Meola, Gavin Petty, Dave Martin, Clark Williams, Philip Lucas, Luca Verani, Leonardo O'Cherry, Andrea Paquetti, Sonny Rosario, with Premslaw Piesnak, Victor Barris, Bartos Grosecki, Michael Podosek, Stuart Millen, Lucas Maruk, Will McIntyre, Zachary Beeson, Adam Talsma, Waldella Cardella, Luciano Lorenzo, Zoltan Zellmotor in 24th, followed by Andy Flint, Alex Hopkins, James Luis, Clemens Punzengruber, Antonio Tellez, Johan Bergeson, Mark Mathis, Ben White, Daniel Jutso, Nick Carty, Fernando Corres, and Christian Glamsetter, followed by Kuchi Ito, Patrick Rollins, Gaston and Becky, Russell Kirkwood, Lucas Lackner, Richard Veen, Daniel Governor, Reed Dennis, Massimo De Laurentiis, Wojciech Podosek, James Abbott, and Martin Devine at the end. And at the end of the grid, it's Arino at the end of the 49 car grid, lined up here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Oh man. And looking at this grid, it goes all the way to the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, it's a fantastic grid. I don't know if we can quickly switch to Ilari Arnio. He is starting basic almost. I mean, he is the last car before. Yeah, basically the last car before the corner, and we are ready to go, Austin.
He's going to hit a very rubbered up spot, but the 5 red lights are coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Happy Mother's Day. Let's have a great race here in Montreal. It's a great start by Lucio. Jumping ahead to Marto. Marto not the best start as Herber's looking down to his inside. Herber getting a good launch down to the inside. Herber's up into second, but here comes Marto right down to the inside of Herber. Marto takes back second place, followed by Herber Mayolo, Petty, Martin, Lucas Williams, Verarni, and Sherry are top 10 as this 2x2x2x2x2x2x2x2. Multiple rolls behind them.
As the drivers are coming to this dangerous point, the first one, if you make a mistake here, usually it involves a pile-up, but everyone is, of course, as per usual in this league, everyone is taking it super carefully, Austin.
Super carefully, but look at this lead that Lucio has. A great start and immediately off the line, and no one can catch him right now. Currently on that first lap, so we ride on board of Marcus, looking at Marto and Hermer, who are nose-to-tail with each other as they head into the hairpin. Now, this hairpin might be a sight for sore eyes for a few of these drivers, as, well, if they hop into here, it's going to be a, well, very unfortunate incident between these two because, like I said, another big pile-up opportunity, but the biggest pile-up opportunity, the final corner, the final chicane, the Wall of Champions. Let's ride on board of Hermer through here. Now, we were given insight that these drivers, they really want to be hitting that massive curb on its apex.
First lap in the books. Lucas Maruk, you can see him here. Will McIntyre and Zachary Bison. As we have a problem.
Oh, that's a car.
Oh, and big crash.
Oh, no. Grosecki's around, and Clark Williams was the one that was stopped on the inside of the turn. As McIntyre late breaks it around the outside for 17th.
the lead is Marcus Lucio still, and that gap, you were right, Austin, not coming down at all, maybe even increasing on Marteau and Ermer.
Yeah, Marteau didn't have the best start off there, and he was fighting with Hermer off the line, so it explains why Lucio has a great start and, well, a good enough lead to really give himself a cushion to look behind him, but Marteau, we've seen him pull back from gaps like this. And on a track where the draft really affects these cars, it's going to be very hard to stay away from Marteau. So we got a side-by-side. Philip Lucas looking on to the inside right now, heading into the World Champions. Easily made that corner, gets the apex a little bit later, and now this is a bad exit for him. Lucas under pressure by Verani. Dave Martin, not Verani, but Martin, he had the inside line, but then he backed off.
Yeah, he didn't want maybe to go for it, and with the, you know, watchful eye of series boss Luca Varani behind him, didn't want to get into any silly trouble and go for a lunge.
Millen went into the pits.
Yeah, he did go into the pits and took a fast repair and went out because he stayed stationary for a grand total of 1.5 seconds. So probably repairing some damage. Of course, it's inevitable to have a little bit of you know, beating and banging in the first few laps. Back to this fight here. So it's Martin who, you know, didn't go for the move on Lucas, and now has Luca Varani all over the back of him.
As we ride him on, Luca Varani, a little bit of lockups in the brakes here for a few of the drivers. Everybody taking a pretty wide line through that hairpin. I know if you hit that apex, there's a very big opportunity for the back end to go out there. And later on in the race, we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers having difficulty with the end of that car. So tire management going to be very important throughout this entire race.
Well, speaking of which, Austin, let's get a peek at the weather, and it's late in the evening. More importantly, only 22 degrees for the drivers to contend with on the racetrack, which is not bad. It's very, very good for you, you know, Freedom Unit users out there. It is basically 4 degrees hotter than the minimum temperature available on iRacing, so it's very, very cold.
Yeah, very cold out here, and 48% humidity in the air, so these edges is gonna be they're gonna be strapped for a little bit of something.
No mist or fog, thankfully, as we look high above. Andy Flint here.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy.
Who's that? Zachary Bison behind them. As Flint is a bit slow coming out of the chicane. And you can see already Punzengruber, Austin pulling away, and now Bison on the outside very bravely gets the job done, and needs almost contact there. Andy Flint, maybe a little bit of a cork in the bottle right now.
Victor Barris on the gearbox, looking down to the inside. It's a drag race here. They're almost going to go 3 wide. Heading into the chicane. Very smart move by Barris to back off from there, but it's a late break mistake. Lock up and in the... Sony Rezard did not hit the wall.
Yeah, but now he's in a very precarious position, and he's beached himself.
No. What's worse than hitting the wall is unfortunately getting stuck on the curbing off the exit of the wall. Let's run on board Sonny Rosario. Watch what happens in his rear. He over-rotates the car, gets it locked up, and then spins around and stopped. He's beached.
He tries to get it started.
Oh, no. That is the most unfortunate thing that could happen to you. Next to having your car exploded. Well, your car explodes.
Already made a mistake, Austin, because he dropped back behind Cherry and in the clutches of Brachetti.
It is. Oh, Brachetti looking down to the inside. Big send by Brachetti, getting onto the red and white curbs here. And Brachetti showing off the legs right here, but here comes Ferrari off the exit. These two are going at it with each other. Ferrari did not have any practice at all going into this week, and he said he was just going to be taking it as cautiously as possible. Well, this is cautious. I really want to see not cautious from Ferrari. So we're side by side later on. Potosiek.
Comes McIntyre on the inside, Austin of Potocek. And cutting there. You need to be careful if you go a little bit too much on the inside curve, you're going to get a 1x. Possibly a
1x and not a slowdown that I'm glad to see, but you know, you will get a slowdown here if it's the FIA if you cut that corner.
Of course, always nice to remember that this track was scanned during one of the last visits of the Nationwide Series around this place, and that is why you have these very NASCAR-looking sponsorships around the racetrack. And more importantly, you will see right now with Lucas Baruch these big white curbs on the inside of the proper curbs, those white sausages, I would say, those launching pads, which of course are not ideal for open wheelers.
Yeah, they're definitely not ideal for open wheelers. They're more ideal for the cans of Robbie Gordon in the Stadium Super Truck Series. I know they have the metal ramps now, but those are the original ramps. Look at this, Potosek under pressure by McIntyre. McIntyre, he looked for it, but he didn't go for the move. And ooh, McIntyre, he really hit that curb. And speaking of Robbie Gordon, he was the disqualified winner of that nationwide race. Very, very interesting story about that race, which, you know, you can easily Google Robbie Gordon and Montreal. And
I really miss the days when the Nationwide Series and Champ Car used to come around here. Oh! Phil Lucas making his presence very, very clear in the mirrors of Phil Lucas. Sorry, the other way around, of course. Phil Lucas making his presence very big into Gavin Petty's rear wing, and now...
Oh, he's making his presence all the way known to Gavin Petty's visor as he parks the car right in front of him and into 5th place, side by side McIntyre and the 59 of Potosek side by side. There a little bit of sliding for Potosek, and around the outside McIntyre stays in 13th. Big curb strike behind Lucas by Petty. Here comes Potosek down the inside, big dive, and he's made it.
As soon as I moved to the rear wing camera, Potosek moved on the inside, because why not? And the other Potosek, Wojtek, has an issue and is out. No!
They're still going at it with each other.
Here comes Maruk, Austin.
Lucas Berg was a part of this fight.
Lifting a bit there.
Yeah, I think Maruk sees him fighting as hard as he can, and he doesn't want any part of that fight, and I think he just wants that freebie or a little bit of confidence to himself, but he needs to get moving if he wants to avoid Adam Talsma behind him, and Adam, he's always riding the lightning.
You know, I was about to say, you know, maybe they don't want to have a repeat of what happened last night in F3.5, but then I realized, of course, that you don't know because you were not there.
Yeah, I was at my cousin's wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I would have so loved to go to a wedding. That race was pretty cool. Scardeia.
Yeah.
Nice to have Valdemar back, by the way.
Yeah, Cardella's back. Oh, there's contact behind him.
Zachary Beeson.
Beeson. got into his gearbox right there and well, hit his diffuser and caused a little bit of a jam up there. And ooh, early braking by Potosek. McIntyre looks to be a little bit more risky going into there.
Well, this seems like a good run for the Austrian driver. But great defending there from Potosek, and they have to stay put, and every time they do this, Baruch comes very close, but not close enough. Let's very quickly... No, wait a second. Let's wait. Seems like Potosek is able to keep it at the front. Let's quickly give a look at the time comparison, Austin, and you will see that for Marcus Lucio it has been an absolutely dominating performance so far.
Yeah, very dominant performance, and Marteau, his last lap was his personal best, so even Marteau's personal best is nowhere as close to Lucio.
You can see the same for Marteau, personal best as you were saying on lap 8, and also pulling away from Samuel Lermer, and Samuel Lermer pulling away from Meola, and Meola up and down with Phil Lucas.
In a tandem with Lucas behind him.
You know, someone would call this a DRS train.
Yes, it definitely would be a train going on the straight. Here comes the Englishman down the inside. McIntyre down low. And the Austrian takes the corner and the position. And now Potosek behind him of the Austrian Englishman side by side with each other. McIntyre round the outside. He's going to be able to keep that 13th, and I'm going to stop referring to both his nationalities.
And we have a problem for Massimo De Laurentiis, the Italian. Oh man, I know. I'm afraid I know where this is going.
Starts with an O.
Ooh, ah.
Ooh.
Bienvenue
Exactly.
au Québec.
I know. Round the outside. A lot of room was given to him, and unfortunately couldn't get it around there. Well, actually, no, he did get it around there, but unfortunately for Richard Van Veen, there goes his position as we ride on board. Christian Glamsetter ahead of Daniel Dusso. Dusso, he's got his nose in there, but he's just too far back to make that move work. But Glamsetter under pressure.
Austin hoping that the repair bill doesn't go up after, I have to say, a very tough season for Christian Glamsetter. But, you know, honestly, last week he destroyed the car after the finish line, so...
Yeah, I didn't care. At least it came across
which apparently doesn't count if you smash the car after the finish line.
Hey, Paddle Awards allowed to do donuts after he just won Texas in his IndyCar motor. My guys are allowed to crash into a wall. What are you doing, Christian?
Glamsetter goes a bit wide there, and he will be penalized.
I think he knows I'm watching him. I think he knows I'm watching him.
He'll get a massive slowdown, unfortunately. He gets passed by Matisse and by Clark Williams. So 2 positions lost there. Hopefully he can clear the slowdown quickly before loses other positions, as we have Nick Carty, Zoltan Zomotor and Stuart Milne all waiting in the wings, and Arnio with Anne Beek. Arnio started the dead last. Trying to get one more. He's got plus 12. And Anne Beek is his next target.
Yeah, Gaston ahead of him in that 888. And, well, Gaston definitely not going to be much of an easy fight. New fastest lap for Lucio as Brachetti and Piesnek side by side with each other heading into the chicane. Big dive right there for Piesnek, and Piesnek up into 10th place.
Pieniączek gets the job done. But Brachetti looking for revenge on the inside. Great defending by the Polish driver. A lovely orange livery there, I'd say. I really like it. We have this battle pack here between all these drivers. Birgerson leads it, and he has behind him Bison Flint, Bunzengruber, and Ben White, with Fernando Correas waiting in the wings. And behind them another pack, we saw this earlier, with Glamsetter, Karti, Matisse, Zomotor, Milne, and behind them it's Ito-san, who's trying to get close to the drivers in front of him. Marcus Lucio in the way, and we are already getting closer to the halfway mark. Austin, race is very entertaining and going by very, very quickly.
Very quickly. It is Montreal. It's one of the fastest tracks in all the world. A lot of straights, a lot of flowing corners, and lap times here 1 minute 30 seconds. So I don't think anyone was expecting this one to be very long, as we got a slow car on the right-hand side, as Verani is currently sitting in 9th place, looking. Oh no! That's the wall.
Is this rear wing okay? It seems like it is, but now. Oh, the car behind is a lap car. That's a lap car.
Yeah, there was a lap car in there.
Yeah, no, yeah, because I thought that the blue car was about to attack him. No, and I think Luca got lucky because he hit very, very square.
No damage I can see. Might have pushed the rod inwards just a bit, but no suspension damage that really can be noticed, as Pian Yon Shek is chasing him down.
Oh man, you know, I've worked for many years with a colleague, and we used to basically spend the entire day together. And this colleague, fantastic person, is Polish, and so if he could hear me butcher his native language, he would probably punch me. And given he was, you know, a very big, tall, muscular man, it would hurt a lot. So apologies to Poland. Is a beautiful country. I've been there in the past. You know, with Italy, a special relationship between the two countries. So my apologies for this incredible act of butchering a language that I'm doing. I will do my best to improve.
Usually it's my job to do that, because you expect the American not to be good at anything else other than English. And even though if it's in English, I will still butcher it.
Even though I think they're talking about you, because you called him Piesnek earlier, whilst I called him Pieniączek, which is almost correct. So I think they're talking about you, despite
I think they're
tagging.
talking about us. They tagged you.
They tagged me, I know.
Scrabble on board of Philip Lucas. He sits behind Gavin Petty. He's taking a inside line going into that corner. So it's odd that he's really sacrificing his tires right here, as Johan Bergeson gets a great run through this corner. Now he's onto the inside of Waldemar Cardella. Cardella onto the outside into the draft of Zachary Beeson, as they're having a little drag race here down one of the many straight short shoots here in Montreal.
They are coming through the hairpin once again. Here comes Ben White on the inside of Andy Flint. Andy Flint goes extremely wide. But White makes the move stick. Oh, problem for one of the hometown heroes, Sonny Rosario. Is that an issue?
There's a big curb strike on both ends. Losing control, almost hits the wall, then hits the other wall on the recovery. A lot of front end damage, and well, that is Sonny Rosario's second time in the pits.
3 wide.
Oh, that could have gone crazy.
Oh, contact!
Contact behind him, more contact!
Andy
Flint.
And he got tagged unwittingly by I think that was Clark Williams.
It was. Yeah, Clark Williams got into his rear end. Very violent hit, and he got all the show in front of him. Let's run on board Clark Williams heading into turn 2. You get to see the Metallica car get strict onto the back end, and as just right into Clark Williams' way. So, very unfortunate for both those drivers that kind of unavoidable contact after that avoidable contact.
Gavin Petty then. And Phil Lucas, these two have been going at it for quite a bit, and I missed. I know I didn't. I know I inverted them earlier, but if you look at the car in front, we see that Petty, as I think his name on the rear wing, as Lucas sliding a bit too close to the wall, and now locking the front left. Was Petty, and the gap is 0.7 of a second behind them. Dave Martin, who's -1. Top 5. This is very strange for a iGPFun race, Austin, because usually we have a lot of passing at front, but not today. The top 5 drivers are still in the same order that we left, and then the other driver who hasn't moved is Luca Varani.
Yeah, look at Varani, Andrea Brichetti, and Zachary Beeson. All of them have stayed the same, as well as Patrick Rowlands. A lot of drivers staying where they started. And, well, the competition up at front, these guys are on another level. And so, qualifying usually, it's been the case where we see the top 3 not move, but the top 5, that's surprising. Because we got Kirkwood looking for a attempt on Rowlands.
Tell you what, Austin, they might, yeah, they are in the traffic right now. That was Lucio going past some of the drivers we were watching. Here comes Marteau and all the other drivers. Now they will have to follow suit as... oh no!
Oh no! Russell Kirkwood!
The two drivers we are watching, and Rowlands, we were watching them a second ago. And that is a big hit. And they are,
two cars, a lot of damage. Kirkwood pulls out Lawrence. Kirkwood continuing on without a front wing, so hopefully traffic does not get to him as he's trying to drive his stricken car back into the pit lane. Now he's going to have some traffic approaching him, and he's hitting the wall even more. Now let's get a replay of what's happened here from Patrick Rowlands. It's just, he's just got into the grass, nowhere to brake, and into the wall.
And you can see the front wing, the rear wings going, being left there, and as they say, we might need those.
Yeah, definitely going to be needing that later. So we're looking at Adam Talsma and James Luis right behind him, about 131. He thought about the inside move, but decided not to go through with it. As Adam Talsma in his home race, defending from James Luis. Luis around the outside, Talsma onto the inside. And, Talsma's just going to let him have that corner and try to get him off the exit.
Talsma, I think, will try to come back at him in turn 1. Even though it has not been a big passing spot, a big mistake.
Oh, no!
Oh, he pulls a Jarno Trulli and goes into the wall.
Yeah, unfortunate into the wall, and that's wing damage as well for James.
It's very unfortunate. Let's grab a replay.
He carried so much speed heading into turn 1 that he just came across the curb. Yeah. Hits the curb, a lot of speed, got into the grass, can't slow down, locks up the wheel, and it's the slowest wall impact that you'll see that will damage the wing.
I thought he could have gotten away with that, but the iRacing gods said no.
Yeah, the iRacing damage model giveth and it taketh away.
Speaking of which, it's time for the dancing grey dots of doom.
Yeah, about 10 laps. Oh my goodness.
It looks like an an ant's nest, basically, no? Then you have these crawling all over.
All of them going in a certain direction, doing their own things, and you just really just want to disturb them.
No, I have a fear of insects, so I would leave them alone if possible.
You would hate me as a kid.
I hate insects and I hate wind turbines.
You would hate Texas.
Brazilian duel. They started together next to each other in the starting grid. Lorenzo and Cardella. And nice to have Luciano here, and of course Valdemar back. Birgersson is not too far behind. In fact, he is waiting in the wings as these two drivers are keep going side by side. Fastest lap of the race for Marcus Lucius, 29.50. He was half a second quicker than Marteau. Again, side by side, Cardella on the outside. And now, here comes Birgersson.
This is going to be tight off the exit. Here comes Birgersson. An early braking attempt.
Cardella goes around.
Cardella, a little bit too much mustard off the exit, and around he goes.
And I don't know if this is related, but in the braking, he had put a couple of wheels on the grass.
Ooh.
So he took a weird line, and maybe wanting to get...
Oh, the car just brakes. It wasn't a slow spin. It was a sudden one.
This track has so many ways of punishing you, and the hairpin, basically, it's so difficult in any kind of car to find traction coming out of that corner, even on a cool day like this.
Yeah, the only thing that would have traction going off there is oh, that is a beautiful move by Correas.
It's a Pontiac Solstice, probably.
No, I was going to say a four-wheel drive Pro Truck.
Oh, also, yeah.
Or a motorbike.
Everything
else is going to be very unbalanced coming out of there.
James Tullis was driving in real life at Silverstone this weekend, single-seaters. I watched the BTCC today, and the lovely thing about BTCC on British TV is that they also show every support race. So I watched the Cayman Cup, the British F4 Cup, and more importantly, my favorite one, the Ginetta Juniors. It was absolutely amazing. Changeable condition at Traxton. It was a fantastic day of racing. Made up for absolute boring F1 race of this afternoon.
And for those who are not able to access British television, the BTCC does have a YouTube channel where they do live stream all of the race day.
Oh, really?
Yes, they do. So I get to watch old Jimmer race around in Praga.
They went into...
Oh, no! Clark Williams contacts and almost gets T-boned. He's parked in the middle of the track. Oh, there's contact trying to avoid him as well. There are parts all over the place, and that is Cardella. This day has gone from bad to worse. Stuart Millen pulls a Sebastian Vettel, but Waldemar Cardella trying to avoid the Clark Williams stuck in the middle of the track right there. Gets shot into the wall, and that is his race done. You get to see that contact right there. Now watch this. His car gives a little clutch kick, then you see Cardella trying to avoid him. Into the wall, and very unfortunate right there.
See it from the onboard of the Brazilian driver.
Yeah, you're going to see the car shoot to the left. He tried to go to the right, and unfortunately the car wanted to go one way. His hands are pointing the other way. And, well, it's just like the marriage. Usually one direction wins over the other, and into the wall he went.
Victor Barris.
Very unfortunate for Cardella.
Victor Barris just went past Pieniączek for P11. Now he has Andrea Brachetti in front of him as we are on lap 22 out of 30. Let's check in with our leaders. Our leader, I should say, as he has a couple of cars in front of him.
Leaders is very. It's a loose term. Unless this was a team race, you'd be well, you'd be better fly fishing in the bathtub than using that term.
So James Tullis again back in the sim racing world after some real life racing, as our friend in the chat was saying earlier. He's the next car in line for Marcos Lucio to get to put one lap down, and unfortunately James Abbott has had an issue.
I must say this, IRL experience and immediately going to sim does throw you off your groove a bit, but here's James Abbott. Oh, that's a lot of wall contact. That's suspension damage, and that is even more damage. That's a wheel off.
It's strange because you basically go from having all the available sensation, I think, to then having to drive only through your hands, no? So
yeah, and well, somebody just had a enter the pits. That's Russell Kirkwood in the pit lane ahead of these guys, and Kirkwood well, he had a very interesting pit entrance.
Yeah, and remember, Kirkwood already had a trip through pit road on lap 21, and he hasn't stopped, so I think it's a penalty for, or maybe he has a very late pit stall. No, it's.
Let's watch his entry into pit lane, because something weird happened here. He like took an S turn or something. Looks like he was going to corner, and then he just missed it and decided, I'm going to make this look like I was just going to go into the pit lane.
Okay, that might explain the pass-through he just made. I don't recall this championship having, penalties
Stewards.
for...
No. I think he just forgot that the runoff was there.
Marcus Lucio, QT Marteau, and Samuel Ermer. Nothing has changed in the top 5, with Francesco Meola in 4th and Gavin Petty in 5th. No, it's Philip Lucas, and Phil Lucas might be starting to lose contact with Gavin Petty. They've been very close all the race long. Dave Martin is behind them. Then another solid run for Leonard Cherry. He's had, he's been racing for the past couple of seasons, I think, in this championship, and in the last 2 races I clearly remember his name finally being very stable in the top 10, top 15, which is, of course, when you have 49 cars, is a fantastic result. It's a fantastic result regardless, but of course more so in a big grid like this. He will have to contend with Luca Varani, who is in 9th, as Lucio, another fastest lap of the race. And rounding up the top 10 so far is Andrea Brachetti, who has got Barris behind him, and then Pieniączek, McIntyre, Potocek. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We have a roadblock. That was De Laurentiis, who was a lap down. He got collected by Maruk, and Potocek has lost the front right.
No. So unfortunate for him. And, well, I said the hairpin was going to bring up some interesting incidents, and, well, there it goes. Just a lot of mustard going into there, then unfortunate big contact, and then, well, that wheel tried to stay on, but unfortunately it was an Italian wheel, and it just wiggles itself free of its bindings.
Italian.
It's a Dallara. I can make this joke.
Yeah, and also, considering what happened to that...
Oh.
Alfa Romeo pit stop earlier today.
Oh, where it's just the tire just deflates right there.
I have never seen a tire pre-deflated.
I've never seen I've never seen it before it was put on the car too. Hey, at least they spotted it before they let it release. At least they didn't have a Haas 2017 Melbourne pit exit. Insert massive sigh.
Look at that
Twice.
pace. Ooh.
He set the fastest lap last time by, and he is going to be putting as much as he wants on there. Luzzo,
That's risky.
he's not caring. He's having fun.
Okay, I would love to have his confidence, because that was two back-to-back sideways moments in a place where there is no runoff whatsoever, and he's got 8.3 seconds over second place. So again, I appreciate the confidence, but
calm down.
I can't say I share it, you know.
It's like Lewis when he says, "I have no tires," and proceeds to just do absolutely insane stuff. You expect somebody to be complaining about its tires to take it easy. He's not taking it easy at all.
And behind him, we had this fight between Van Veen, Tulis, and Anne Pick.
When two of these drivers have had incidents, very, what happened there? Luis very slow, Van Veen very slow, and then Gaston, I think, is perplexed with what happened there. He almost got into the back of Van Veen as Gaston sending it down to the inside.
And behind them, there is a lead lap car.
Yeah, that's Marteau, second place, and Gaston's getting out of the way as he's going to try to chase down Van Veen from the comfort of blue flags.
Stuart Mill gets the job done on Nick Carty and up into 25th place. In front of them we have Glamsetter and Zomotor. I like how these little packs are forming and then breaking up, and then you form another group with other drivers. Some of these drivers especially, I mean, it's a completely different race whether if you're like in the top 5, you know, it was a calm race, and then if you ask to everyone else, this race
Be
has
like,
been
no.
Constant fighting.
Constant fighting, a lot of madness and a lot of chaos going on. And see Millet, that is a cheeky look.
Oh!
And very late move on the brakes for Glam Center. He makes it move, but very early by Zolta Zomotor as he's overtaken 3 wide across the line by Nick Carty. And Stuart Millen, he's stuck in the middle with you. And he's going to try to look down to the inside. He gets to the back of Zoltan. Just a little bit crazy.
Great stuff there at Glamsetter. As soon as they started fighting, he pulled away immediately from this fight to show the importance of having a clean track. And now attacking there.
Oh, big lock up by Zoltan and Zomotor. Millie going to try to carry it around the outside. Very slick part of the track right there. But Stuart Millie, he's got a great run, and he is in the draft of Nick Carty. So Millen up in a 25th.
Oh, gotta be careful there. Millen was very aggressive on those curbs there, able to keep the car on track.
Big lock up in the hairpin. Up ahead of Millen, that would be Nick Carty, who's trying to get away from this fight. Now there's a little bit of oddness in this final chicane. Let's see if it happens again. Big run. Here comes Zomotor. Early break by Zomotor, but then a late charge, almost side by side onto the entrance right there. And a big wiggle by Millen. What was that? Was he trying to wiggle his car to having grip?
You know, we never know these drivers. Every day they find new techniques.
Wiggle boosting. Millen down the inside. Staying in 25th. You know, we might have to test. I might have to test wiggle boosting off the exits. I'll let you know when I get disqualified from the server. Yeah, there he... What is he doing? He just did it again. Let's do it again. Nope, not on this straight.
Behind them, there is a moment.
That's Lucio, the leader, behind, well, formerly behind Zomotor, and now behind the Wigglemeister of Stuart Millen.
Here comes Victor Barris. He's trying to get past Brachetti. In the meantime, speaking of Marcus Lucio, there he is. And he will take the white flag, Austin. So one more lap. What a fantastic... Ooh!
He's scraped the wall too. He's made his mark.
What a fantastic performance. White flag is out. One more lap for the race leader. 1.5 laps left for these guys here. Careful there, guys, as Barris almost locks wheels with Brachetti. That could have been bad. And
yeah, they're passing. That's De Laurentiis, who is just on the inside. Brachetti under pressure by Victor Barris. Barris all up in that draft, looking down to the inside. They're side by side heading into the World Champion chicane. Barris, Brachetti, both of them sending it into the chicane. It's going to be Victor Barris hitting 10th place, and now white flag throwing a little sparks up in the air.
Yeah, Brachetti didn't want to risk it. Maybe he wants to stay in the draft and maybe go for the move in the last lap, but there it was not. He didn't defend at all. Unless he just wants to get, you know, a good finishing result, 11th place would be fantastic for him. Marcus Lucio. I mean, what can we say about this performance? It has been complete domination from start to finish. He only has, Austin, one corner to go.
Yeah, one corner to go. No cars to deal with. He's going to take it as easily as he can. Well, as I said, easily. He took it with a lot of gusto. And he's weaving out the straights as he wins it here at Montreal. Marcus Lucio. And here is QT Marto in second. And Samuel Hermer finishing in third. Top 5 were able to keep their positions from the start. And now the roles are reversed. Barris is now defending from Brachetti on the straight on the last lap. Barris defending on the inside. Here comes Brachetti onto the outside. Barris, he's got the right spot he needs to be. Brachetti's just going to stay back behind him, hoping for an instant. There's not going to be anyone. And Victor Barris is going to take 10th place ahead of Andrea Brachetti.
Other drivers coming home. McIntyre will be 13th and Bison 14th. Everyone pretty much very spread out. I don't know why in these final 2 laps they were all together, but now they are very spread out. So they are coming one after the other. The closest fight we have is Glamsetter and Nick Carty, but as you can see, Nick Carty is almost a second behind. These are the last few cars we are waiting for to finish the race.
Yeah, race almost ready to be finished. Just Nick Carty and Christian Glamstead coming across the line. As this is a big weave right there, and as Luzzo brings it into pit lane and into that famous podium, the old pit lane, I must say.
And that will be all for iGPFun at Montreal. Let's go through the race results. And as you can see, the winner is Marcus Lucio. 11 seconds basically in front of QT Marteau, and Samuel Hermer was almost 20 seconds behind. Francesco Meola and Gavin Petty round up your unchanged top 5. Philip Lucas is in 6th in front of Dave Martin, Leonard Cherry, Luca Varani, Victor Varris, Andrea Brachetti, Premislar Piagnonchek, and Will McIntyre. Then Zachary Bison, Alex Hopkins, Ben White, Sean Lorenzo, Fernando Correas sitting in P18. And then in P19, we are going to have Johan Birgersson and Daniel Justo. It's Mark Mattis and Clemens Bunsen-Gruber, then Christian Gramsetter and Nick Carty. Stuart Mill and Zoltan Zomotor. Then 27th was Ito-san, Koji Ito. James Tullis, 28th. And then in 29th and 30th place, we have Gaston Anbic and Richard Van Veen. 31st was Lucas Lackner in front of Ilari Arnio. Massimo De Laurentiis 33rd in front of Andy Flint, Antonio Teyes, Russell Kirkwood, Bartosz Galecki, Lucas Maruk, Patrick Rowlands and Adam Tasma in 40th. 41st was Michal Potocek, James Abbott in 42nd place in front of Clark Williams and Valdemar Cardella. Riden is 45th in front of Sonny Rosario. All these drivers unfortunately have retired. Martin Devine, Wojtek Potocek in 49th, and last but not least, from South Africa, Daryl Govender, who I think didn't even take the start, considering he finished the full distance, 30 laps behind our race winner. What a race, Austin. Such great fun as per usual, and I think we don't have anyone, unfortunately, to talk to after this race. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts about this event? I think we had great fun. Too bad at the front it was too spread out, because but behind the top 5 it was constant action.
Oh, it was a party. It was a big old party in the back here at Montreal. Next week we head over to Okayama, and one of our favorite tracks on there, and I'm pretty sure one of the most famous tracks on the service that everyone has pretty much driven once in their iRacing career. So Okayama, that one always brings a lot of high competitiveness. So that one should be a very interesting race to go to. But as for today, man, Montreal, oh, she always brings some action, and there was a lot of action here today. Thank you everybody for joining us here for the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by Virtual Racing School. I've been joined by Marco Barbanera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.